This ooey and gooey cheesy baked ravioli is so delicious, and I love to make these especially on Sundays because we have leftovers for the next day. And I'm gonna show you guys exactly how I made these. First thing I went on is cook my meat, which is going to be some ground turkey. Now you can replace your ground turkey for ground beef. I just prefer to use ground turkey. You can also mix yours in with some sausage or whatever you like, but I'm just going to use ground turkey. First thing I'm going to do is go ahead and cook off my ground turkey, but before we cook it, we're going to go ahead and season it. Now I'm going to season it with some of the seasonings I like, which is going to be some parsley. In addition to the parsley, I am going to go ahead and add in some Italian seasonings because it's going to go ahead and replace some of the fresh herbs that I don't have. So we're going to go ahead and use the Italian seasoning. After I use my Italian seasoning, I am going to go ahead and add in some smoked paprika because I just love the color that it brings, and I also love the flavor that it brings. In addition to that smoked paprika, we are going to go ahead and add in some onion powder and some garlic powder. You know, you can't have one, you got to have both. After I get that onion powder and garlic powder in there, I am going to go in with a little bit of Tony seasoning just because I like Tony's Creole seasoning. And after I get that Tony seasoning in there, I am going to go ahead and add in some of that Harlem garlic pepper. Now, if you have not tried that, that is absolutely one of my new favorite seasonings that I love. Don't walk, but run and go ahead and get you a bottle. Now that I got everything nice and seasoned, I'm just going to go ahead and cook everything until it's completely cooked all the way through. You want to make sure your meat is completely cooked. After everything is cooked, I'm going to go in with my favorite sauce, which is going to be some Prego Simply sauce, and I'm just going to go ahead and add sauce to all of my meat. After you add your sauce, you're going to go ahead and mix everything up, and then you're going to adjust as needed. Give it a taste. If it needs a little bit more seasoning, add some more seasoning. If it's perfect, then you're going to go ahead, put it to the side, and we're going to go on to the next step. After I got everything adjusted and mixed up to my liking, this is how everything was looking so far. Absolutely perfect. This is just how I wanted it. Now, while I'm already preparing my ingredients, I am going to go ahead and cut my oven on and start bringing that up to temperature. I'm going to put it on 350 degrees because after we get everything into our pan, we are going to put this in the oven. Now, for our first step, what we're going to do is get our pan, and then we are going to add some of the ground turkey mixture to the bottom of the pan, and you're going to make sure that you mix it and spread it out. Now, you're not going to use the whole entire pan because we are going to save some of this ground turkey and tomato sauce that we made for the top layer of the bake. So we're just going to add just a little bit. It doesn't have to completely cover the pan, but you are going to spread it out just like you see I'm doing here. I'm just making sure all those big clumps of turkey that I'm breaking those down and spreading everything out. After I got a little bit layer of sauce on the bottom, I did go ahead and wash off some fresh spinach, and I'm going to add that fresh spinach right to the top layer of the ground turkey and tomato mixture that we made. You do not have to add this step. It is completely optional. You do not have to do that part, or if you have another preference in vegetable, you can definitely add that in there. Now, after I got my first two layers done of the bake, it's time for me to go ahead and add some cheese. And for the cheese, I'm going to use some mozzarella cheese. I'm going to take a layer and put it right on top of our spinach. After I get that mozzarella cheese layered on top of the spinach, I'm going to go in with some of these raviolis. Now, this is the ravioli I found in the supermarket. I did get it out the frozen section. If you want to make yours homemade, you can go ahead, but this is a quick and easy dinner, so we're going to go ahead and get it right out of the freezer section. I'm going to layer it right on top of the spinach, and I want to make sure that I'm getting it close together, making sure everything is nice and neat and layered right on top. As you can see, I'm doing right here. I was able to do 4 going across, and I was able to get 5 going down. Now I'm just making sure everything is nice and even, getting as many of those raviolis I can in the pan. Now, if you are feeding a smaller family, you can definitely cut this recipe in half and make a smaller version of this, or you can definitely put this in the fridge and have leftovers for the next day. After I got all my ravioli lined up in the pan just like this, I'm going to go back and get the rest of that turkey and spaghetti sauce that we have, and we're just going to go ahead and add it right on top of the ravioli. Now, the ravioli I'm using is frozen. I did not cook this before I put it in the oven. I'm using it just how it is. It will definitely cook inside of the oven. I'm going to go ahead and layer my ground turkey right on top, just using the rest of it, getting that sauce, the turkey, and everything right on top of there. Once I got everything layered the way I want to, everything is nice and even, I am going to go back in and add some more cheese to it. I'm going to go back in with my mozzarella cheese. Now, if you want, you can also mix up the cheeses and add a different cheese. You can use Parmesan, you can use mozzarella, you can also use cheddar, you can use Gouda, you can use whatever cheese blend you want. I'm just going to stick to mozzarella, but you definitely can use 2 or 3 cheeses in this. I'm going to add a nice good layer of mozzarella cheese on top because we like ours extra cheesy. So I'm going to make sure I add a good amount of cheese. After I get my cheese on there, I'm going to cover it with foil. We're going to put it in the oven and we are going to bake it. Now, this is going to bake at 350 degrees for about 30 to 45 minutes. Once it's done, you're going to go ahead and remove it out the oven. Give it a few minutes to cool. And while it's cooling, you can go ahead and add any additional side orders you want to this dish, or you can serve it as is. If you would like to go ahead and make some garlic bread, you can add you some garlic bread. Go ahead and make a chopped salad, or like I said, just serve it as is. And as y'all can see, this was so ooey gooey and cheesy, and this is exactly how I love it. And now it's time to go ahead and make these plates. Went on ahead and got me a spoon because we are going to go ahead and get some of this baked ravioli. And when I tell you, this was absolutely so good, and we had leftovers for tomorrow. I love making dishes like this, and y'all see that cheese pull. Look at it. This was so good.